Okay, here's a quick update on my homemade sawmill. I built this about 2 years ago, I think now, and I did post a photo clip video on YouTube some time ago, really just covering the bits that I bought for it. But here we are a couple of years later. We've sort of modified it over the years, and we've now built it onto a trailer, which makes moving around the farm so much easier. We can bring it to the trunks rather than the other way around, so I think something I should have done right from the start, I think. It's still work in progress. I mean, there's always modifications, you know. I can think of things that I wish I'd have done different and so on, and over the years you slowly modify things, but on the whole very pleased with it. It's working a treat, getting a lot of use out of it. For what it cost to build, I think it's paid for itself 10 times over at least, so it doesn't owe me a penny really. But if anybody's thinking of building one, then good luck to you. It's a fairly straightforward process really. I took I guess a couple of good weekends and probably a couple of week nights. That was about all. Probably owes me in the order of 1,100–1,200 euros, I would think, all told. I mean, if anybody's interested, I can certainly give you some pointers on the best way of building one, but the top and the tail of it is I went with a 4-post design, a bit reminiscent of the woodland mills, I guess. It's basically 60mm box section, and if you buy the 60mm in a 4mm wall, the 50mm box will slide up and down in it absolutely lovely. So that's the first port of call. And second is obviously some decent bearing blocks, something decent for your shafts. The band pulleys, these are easily sourced off bearingboys.co.uk, with the boss in the centre there. Very good buy. It's running a 15 horsepower. Nothing particularly special about the engine. It was just an Amazon special, I think, in the order of 280 odd euros for 15 horsepower. It's not the strongest 15 horsepower in the world. It'll never compare to a Vanguard or a Collar, but it seems to have plenty of oomph to it, and touch wood has been very, very reliable, so pretty pleased with it for the money we spent. Obviously electric start, runs a full-size battery rather than the tiny little quad battery that we started with. Winch for the head lift, super simple, just again Amazon special, about 16 quid I think. Works very well, no problem with that at all. Blade guides, they're the only thing I shall modify at some point. I shall probably end up getting some from Cooks or somebody like that. These these are actually just Sabre timing belt pulleys, and they run a really nice bearing. They're rated for a shed load of revolutions, so to be fair, they have worked very, very well really. again, very pleased with everything really. The clutch is from Titan Chippers. Again, works very well. I think they were about 60 odd quid, I think. And steel was the major expense. It runs on a 60mm by 80mm right angle channel. The bunks are made out of, I think it's 120 by 60 with a 4mm wall. 1 6-metre length did the whole bed. The bed is actually just over 6 meters, which means I can actually cut a beam or a trunk at 5 meters. The one that's on there now is exactly 5 meters long. That's a 20 by 20, just to give you some idea. The carriage runs on gate casters. They fit the channel absolutely perfectly. Obviously there's the lube tank. The head, well, the carriage I should say, is pretty heavy. I mean it's pretty substantial. There's a lot of steel in it. The engine's pretty weighty. You've got the tank of water, you've got the battery. But having said all of that, it does move extremely easily down the track, so no problem there. The throttle is on a dead man's handle, so that's nice and safe. Lube switch, there we go, just dribbles quite nicely straight onto the blade there. We've got blade clamps all the way down the bed, because they're never where you want them unless you've got them pretty much between every log bunk really, and the same with the log stands. I think there's 3 or 4 down the length of the bed. Probably going to add some more at a later date, but they work very well. Pretty simple really. It's just another piece of the 60 with a 50 in. Cut top to help you roll your logs over. It's just got some sort of jockey wheel legs all the way down the bed. I'm going to add some more in the middle at some point, but that can wait for a bit. Trailer was, I say trailer, it's basically just an axle and a drawbar, and I've just welded it on some small RSJ just to give the frame some extra support, because we are cutting some fairly substantial oak on it. As you can see, there's another 4 metre 50 oak trunk to go on. Pretty much just cutting sort of construction green oak, mainly for putting in my own house. I shall be doing a lean-to and porch and such like at some stage, but for a minute I've got a lot of 5 metre 20 by 20s and 4 metre 50 25 by 25s to do. It handles all of this, no trouble at all. It's running Norwood Sabre tooth blades, which I'm more than happy with for what they cost. So there we go. I say, if anybody would like any more information on how to go about building and similar, then just leave it in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. But there we go, our homemade bandsaw mill.